Not every truth wants to be revealed. Are you ready to open the file? If military radar doesn't know what is flying in the sky, what does that mean? This isn't a phone camera. This isn't a blurry video on the internet. This is military radar. Systems designed to detect fighter jets, cruise missiles, stealth drones, and every possible threat in the sky. But sometimes, even those systems detect a target they cannot classify. No name, no identification code. No clear explanation, and that's when the story begins. Radar doesn't see with eyes, it sees with waves. The system sends out radio signals and waits for the reflection to return. Anything in the sky, from aircraft to birds in flight, leaves a trace on the radar screen. But military radar doesn't just show a bright, it can measure speed, acceleration, altitude, flight trajectory, and the object's radar reflection. Because of this, the military can usually distinguish between civilian aircraft, military aircraft, drones, or even atmospheric interference. But sometimes, a signal appears that doesn't match any known category. Civilian radar is designed to manage air traffic. It tracks commercial aircraft and relies heavily on transponder signals. Every aircraft must transmit an identification code, a flight record, and a planned route. But military radar is different. It is designed to detect things that don't want to be detected: stealth aircraft, missiles, military drones, and even targets that transmit no identification signal. So when military radar detects an object with no identification code, no transponder, and no flight record, the system can still track it. But there is only one problem: it doesn't know what it is. In some radar reports, a target appears at high altitude. It moves at extremely high speed. Then suddenly, it changes direction. No wide turns, no slowing down. Its trajectory does not resemble any known aircraft. When the data is compared with civilian flight records, military databases, and satellite tracking systems, no match is found. No flights were registered in the area. No confirmed drones. No announced experimental equipment. So the radar data can only be labeled with one word: unknown, unidentified. When people hear the word UFO, many immediately think of aliens. But scientists and military analysts usually don't start with that assumption. They start with the data, radar interference, atmospheric phenomena, reflections from ice or clouds. In many cases, those explanations solve the mystery. But not always. According to psychologists, the greatest fear doesn't come from aliens. It comes from something simpler. Humans are not sure what they are actually seeing. When the data doesn't match, and the system cannot classify the signal, the human mind begins to fill the gap with theories. For the military, the issue isn't UFOs, the issue is control of the sky. If an object can appear on radar with no identification code, no flight record, and move in ways that do not match known technology, then the question is no longer, what is it? The real question becomes, where is the system blind? Is the radar being fooled by interference, or is there a new technology that we simply don't understand yet? Or perhaps our data is not enough to explain what we're seeing. The military records the data, experts analyze it, reports are archived, but in some cases, the final conclusion remains the same: unknown, not confirmed, not denied, no official explanation. And that leads to an even bigger question. If the military doesn't know what is flying in the sky, then who is controlling the sky? The military records the data, experts analyze it, reports are archived, but in some cases, the final conclusion remains the same: unknown, not confirmed, not denied, no official explanation. And that leads to an even bigger question. If the military doesn't know what is flying in the sky, then who is controlling the sky? The truth is still hidden.